Dear cultivators, do you know, the true master of every being is your own self. Why do we practice for so long yet fail to awaken? Because our minds are not truly still, and our wisdom not yet bright. Listen to Gong Living Buddha and realize that the Tao lies within yourself.
The true master of every person is none other than yourself. The one who can truly save you is also yourself. Everything depends on the thoughts within your own heart. Your mind must be calm, and to find calmness, you must learn from the sages and wise ones of old. By following in their footsteps, you will understand their words and realize that their truths are aligned with heaven's will. I hope each of you can open up your own sky and earth and walk upon your own path. Hold firmly to your own heart, for the Tao is found in everyday life, within your very being. If you refuse to learn from yourself but only study others, all your effort will be in vain. My children, if today you can attain the Tao and accomplish something, it is because you have understood by yourself. To become an immortal or a Buddha, you must first be able to let go and open your heart wide. Only then can you truly enter the ranks of the enlightened. Every person possesses boundless energy and limitless potential, only because it remains unawakened within. The mountain of treasures must be uncovered by your own hands. Heaven has granted each of you innate wisdom. Therefore, you must seek and discover it for yourself. Today, if you wish to cultivate, then cultivate. If you wish to discuss, then discuss. No one can compel you. Cultivating the Tao depends entirely upon yourself. The heart of the Tao is the very first spark of intention. To advance or to retreat lies within a single thought. Where is your mind? It is within your own heart, at the mysterious gate within. Whatever you wish to do today, in the end you must rely on yourself. Heaven, earth, and humanity are called the three powers. The strength of human beings can never be compared to heaven. Yet only the virtue of humankind can transcend heaven and earth. Therefore, you must preserve the virtue within yourself. Now that the heavenly time is urgent, you must act swiftly. Though the path may be difficult, I hope you can dedicate your heart fully to save others, to serve, and to care for your family with sincerity. Only after cultivating the Tao do you realize that within heaven and earth, all things, the five elements, and the human body are in perfect harmony. The mind can create heaven, and the mind can also descend into hell. The mind can become a Buddha, or it can become a demon. The weather of the world is just like your heart, ever-changing and unpredictable. Cultivating the Tao is simple. It lies within a single thought. It is also not simple, for it depends on that very thought of yours. You must allow your heart to be at peace, even in the midst of the bustling world. If your heart keeps rising and falling, stained by desires and emotions, then even if you live deep in the mountains, you remain the same. When your mind is filled with countless wandering thoughts and discontent, it is the karmic forces pulling and disturbing you. Why can others find stillness while you cannot? Because your own karma binds you. And remember, karma can only be balanced and dissolved through true merit and virtue. My children, what are the chains and shackles? The chains and shackles of the mind are the very bindings that one creates for oneself. When the mind believes there are chains, they truly exist. But when the mind is free, nothing in the world can bind it. All obstacles, delusive thoughts, and knots of affliction are self-imposed and self-created. Therefore, one must have the courage to cast away these inner chains. The psychology of human beings is truly frightening. If one wishes to die today, one could do so. It depends solely on the firmness of one's will. The thoughts of human beings are of great importance. When one lives in worry, sorrow, and unrest, nothing one does will go smoothly. Some people think of joyful matters and their faces shine with happiness. Others recall sorrowful events, and their countenance turns gloomy, tears flowing freely. Thus, you can see how terrifying the fluctuations of the human mind are. In the blink of an eye, emotions change. Joy and anger, love and hatred rise and fall endlessly, causing harm to both body and mind. When joy, anger, sorrow, and pleasure cannot be balanced, the body and mind lose harmony and cannot adapt to life. In this way, one brings suffering upon oneself. No one else causes it. True joy resides within a pure and peaceful mind. My children, if your heart keeps rising and falling, you will never truly be happy. Therefore, to find real joy, you must seek the serene world within your own heart, and not let your mind sway with human emotions and feelings. My children, whenever you face hardship, the waves of your heart grow stronger. That is why it is said, when speaking the heart is enlightened, but when facing circumstances, it becomes confused. If you can always keep right mindfulness, your heart will have the strength to overcome any difficulty. Think about it, my children. What does it mean to cultivate yourself? Every one of us carries habits and faults, don't we? If you can make a firm resolve to correct them, then you are already saving yourself. Why do we have these bad habits? Because we carry the three poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance. The karmic seeds we have planted through countless lives. These, my children, must all be dissolved. Use the lamp of wisdom within you to shine its light, just as the sun rises and melts away the snow. Thus, let the sun of wisdom in your heart shine outward to save yourself. To save others is to rescue sentient beings. But before you can save others, you must first correct yourself. Only then can you truly help others become upright and complete. Remember, my children, only when you are righteous yourself can you help others reach righteousness. Age does not matter, whether old or young. What matters is the state of your heart. If your heart has already grown old, then even at 15, you are already aged. Therefore, my children, protect and preserve your youthful, pure heart. All principles, all teachings, all appearances exist to help you understand your own mind. You must first understand your own heart before you can understand the hearts of others. If you cannot yet fathom your own being, how can you ever understand or perfect another? Begin, therefore, from the very root, from within yourself. My children, the thoughts in each being's heart are never completely the same. If you cannot even understand yourself, how can you truly understand, care for, and love others? Without a guiding principle, how can one speak of cultivating the Tao? When your heart wishes to follow emotion, I allow you to go that way. Others may follow reason, some deeply, some shallowly. I assist each of you according to the direction of your own intent. Everything depends on your own effort. Once you walk your chosen path, differences will naturally appear. Some become ever purer, some fall ever deeper into delusion. Thus, in this age, the contrast between good and evil grows ever wider. Cultivating the Tao today is difficult, for between truth and falsehood, between emotion and reason, even in human feelings there must be wisdom. Yet, when you truly enter deeply into the Tao, you must not fall into worldly sentiment. The future you receive depends on the path you choose with care. Cultivation is not a matter of a single command and a single act. That would be far too slow. My children, understand this. Use the false to cultivate the true. Not only this body is illusion. All phenomena are illusion. I merely borrow the appearance of written words to guide you through the gate. Do not cling too tightly, my children. Do not take the false as real, confusing truth and illusion, unable to discern or let go. All is but the working of the mind. Therefore, you must find the original root. Use the external scriptures to illuminate the inner heart-sutra within yourself, and learn how to recite the true sutra of your own heart. All teachings and all forms are established only to bring peace to your mind and nature. They are not the ultimate root of the Dharma. What is real and what is false? This you must clearly discern with wisdom. All dharmas are but forms. All are means to reveal the mind. Where is your mind? Where is your true nature? You must awaken to this yourself, must you not? All words and scriptures exist only to explain the sutra of your own being. And what is that sutra? It is the unbroken flow of truth, ceaseless and eternal, which I have transmitted to you. Do you understand? In cultivating the Tao, you must recognize the true and not mistake the false for real, lest confusion lead you to fall into delusion. The Buddhas and immortals have no fixed form or image. Whatever image your heart conceives will appear before you. The statues and paintings you create are but reflections of human inspiration, manifestations of your own mind. Yet we borrow the image of the Buddha to remind all beings that someone has indeed attained enlightenment, so that we may follow and learn from that example. I have already entrusted the Tao to you. You must see the truth clearly and practice accordingly. When borrowing a form, let it dissolve once its purpose is fulfilled, just as one abandons the raft after crossing the river. Henceforth, cultivate through true understanding. Listen only when there is reason. When there is none, there is no need to listen. When the sins, faults, and wrongdoings within you accumulate, your heart can no longer remain pure. If you wish to regain purity, you must first remove desire. When desire is swept away, you will naturally reach a certain level of realization, becoming spiritually clear and connected. At that time, your true nature will be able to communicate with all sentient beings, and with the immortals and Buddhas themselves. Why can the immortals and Buddhas connect with all beings? Because they are not bound or limited by form. They transcend all appearances. But you, once you see form, become attached and cannot transcend it, can you? My children, do not say that cultivating the Tao today no longer requires form. You must understand that you still need to borrow this physical body to cultivate. However, you must enter a state in which your cultivation has both purpose and direction, so that you do not lose yourself in illusion. As long as you have a body, who can avoid pain or illness? This is the suffering of being human. Yet if you have begun to cultivate and understand the Tao, you will still face suffering, but you will endure it with freedom. Because once you understand the reason for suffering, you will no longer complain to heaven or blame others. Now is the final age of the third cycle, a time of great cleansing. Therefore, the most important thing is to cultivate sincerely, honestly, and practically. How should your virtue be revealed outwardly? By practicing earnestly, steadily, and sincerely in every moment, so that your virtue naturally shines forth. Offer the best and purest part of yourself to others. That is what truly matters. To hold the void is only to still the mind. At times, it is enough to turn the light inward and reflect. Do not be overly deliberate or forceful, understand? If you spend too much time sitting still, it may become unbalanced. Meditate briefly to ease fatigue and rest, but do not cling to the practice. Attachment is not the true principle of the Tao. For the Tao you cultivate is the Tao of nature, is it not? My children, learn from the immortals and Buddhas, and gradually elevate your level of cultivation. Only through steady progress can you truly advance. It is like a rolling ball. Every side must move. Likewise, the more Dharma truths you hear and absorb, the more your heart and mind will improve. If your heart remains unmoving, you will lose your way in cultivation and not know how to proceed. The Tao lies in ordinariness. My children, you must realize the subtle wonder hidden in what is ordinary. Like water, you often say you want a drink, even wishing for it to have a special taste. But when you truly drink, what is it that you drink? In the end, it is still just water. The Tao is just that simple. Do not hope to see the immortals or Buddhas manifest before thinking that is the Tao. If you do so, you have already gone far from it. The true manifestation lies within your own heart. You must sincerely experience and realize it.
Now you do not truly understand what is real, nor what is false. Thus, truth and illusion, right and wrong, become hard to distinguish. Some people, when unable to tell truth from falsehood, choose to let both go. And once they step beyond that attachment, they instead discover the very answer they sought. Isn't that so? When you cling to truth and falsity, you divide yourself into two extremes. Once divided, you can never find the true principle, for your mind is trapped within attachment. Only when you release it, ceasing to distinguish between true and false, do you return to the middle way. You cannot see the immortals or Buddhas, you only see their images. When you see those forms, you mistakenly believe they are real. I borrow such images to teach you the truth, for through form you can better comprehend. Yet I do not rely on form to connect with you. Our minds are naturally in communion. When you encounter events in life, it is not the visible that is real, but the response of your heart. However, when your mind is full of worries, even that resonance can become distorted. Cultivating the Tao does not mean discarding all that is false. If you claim your parents are unreal and thus fail in filial piety, is that right? If you say wealth is false and therefore refuse to work, is that right? Only when you fulfill your duties completely can you realize what is true. When you fulfill your human responsibilities, you can then approach the divine. Once you truly awaken, your heart no longer clings to the notions of real or false. Behind every person, there is a current of supportive strength. It is your true nature, and the vows you once made that propel you forward. Yet if your thoughts are not upright, another force will pull you backward, making your progress ever more difficult. All things are born from desire, and everything exists within the 5 elements and 8 trigrams. The principle of the middle way is neither biased nor extreme. The great Tao is formless and shapeless, called the Tao only by name. Once you understand the truth, rise above disputes, reflect inwardly, cultivate your mind and refine your nature. Then, what doubts could remain? When your heart has even a small weakness, the immortals and Buddhas will test you through it. When your mind clings strongly to an evil thought, demons will use that weakness to enter. Therefore, if you fail to control your heart, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to others. Tell me, isn't that frightening?
Whatever you wish to do, the immortals and Buddhas will follow your intention. If you wish to cultivate the path of human emotion, they will arrange for the people around you to walk that same path. If you wish to cultivate your true nature and better understand yourself, good people will appear around you. Now the heavenly order has changed. Whatever path you choose, no matter which Tao, it will align with the direction of your heart. Be careful. You may not be walking the right way. The path your heart follows will determine your future. Some become Buddhas, others fall into hell. Having sought the Tao, why would one still descend into hell? Because their thoughts differ, don't you agree? Today I speak clearly. True cultivation is to cultivate yourself, to examine yourself. If you pray to me, I will respond according to your own thoughts, foundation, and karmic affinity. So, am I real or false? Tell me, isn't that frightening? Your desires are too many, so you cannot understand my sincere warnings, spoken again and again with all my heart. Thus, the more you cultivate, the farther you drift from the Tao. Cultivation is not following the path of human emotion. It may appear close, yet to the immortals and Buddhas, it is far off the mark. Therefore, when your thoughts deviate, even your 9 generations of ancestors will fall with you. Tell me, isn't that terrifying? The Buddha resides within your true heart, while the immortals and Buddhas are but representations. The heavenly timing has changed. Things must move quickly, faster and faster still. The great calamity of the final age approaches. I hope you will cultivate sincerely, fulfill your vows, and not betray heaven's grace. Only by doing so can you pass through the final trial. Cherish this chance deeply. My children, what is called not having inverted delusions means this. When the mind still harbors illusions and delusions, it gives rise to worries and attachments. Once there are worries, afflictions arise, and with afflictions, the Bodhi mind cannot be born. Some people seek the Tao and later pass away. Why is it that their bodies are not soft and light like cotton? It is because of attachment. Yet why should we attach to whether someone's body is soft or not? If one has already sought the Tao, I have said, heaven's register records the name, and the underworld erases it. However, I have also said, if one's vow is not fulfilled, it is difficult to return to the true homeland. You must cultivate the Tao sincerely. Where is the true and proper Tao found? It lies within your own heart. Just like when you take an examination, there are test papers and questions. The test of the Tao is the same. Each person receives a different paper. Observe the destiny of nations and the destiny of the Tao, because this Tao will gradually become open to the world. When the Tao becomes public, it will turn into religion. By then, seeking the Tao will be difficult. Some may even say it no longer exists. This transformation of the world's situation is not something that I can control, for each person's test is different. At present, your hearts for the Tao are still firm. But what will happen later is hard to say, for human hearts change easily. I dare not guarantee what report card you will achieve in the future. When the Tao is spoken outwardly, it becomes just a method. When expressed externally, it is no longer the Tao, but a form of teaching.
When you step into my Dharma hall to seek the Tao, in the future, your body will surely be soft like cotton. I can guarantee that. Yet whether you truly cultivate and truly act is up to you. To study the Tao and to teach the Tao, the principles never change. The truth of the Tao is profound. Why need one build temples or shrines? Without temples, freedom itself is the temple. The Dharma hall is right before your eyes. With a smile, the gourd opens, and wondrous meaning arises in your heart. If the temple is wondrous, it is because the heart is wondrous. Without the heart's wonder, there is no temple. Build the temple within the heart, and the wondrous heart itself becomes the temple. My children, you often say that learning the Tao means breaking through appearances, seeing the mountain as a mountain and the water as water. But what about the second stage? Seeing the mountain as not a mountain and the water as not water. And the third stage? Seeing the mountain again as a mountain and the water again as water. I hope that when you move from the second stage to the third, even though there may be struggles and hardships, you must persevere and overcome them. The immortals and Buddhas borrow a channel to connect with you, just as I now borrow a channel to express compassion to you. Does that mean I only exist in those moments? Of course not, my child. Every moment I am here. The faith that your master is always present is not mere words. It is something you can truly experience. You live and move right beside your master because you have never left that sacred point. What is it, my child? It is your true nature. Since we have never left our true nature, how can we speak of being apart from the Master or from the Eternal Mother? If there is something you do not understand, go and seek instruction from your lecturer. If the lecturer does not understand, seek guidance from the transmission master. Step by step, learn and inquire upward. But why not seek the answer within yourself? Why rely on others? Open the scriptures, search for the answer yourself, and use your heavenly conscience to discern what is right. Why take others' words as your foundation instead of grounding yourself in your own heavenly conscience? Reflect on it. Have you not perhaps practiced the Tao in confusion, wasting your days in delusion without understanding its essence? The truth or falseness of the immortals and Buddhas, can such a thing be judged by words? No, you must perceive it through wondrous wisdom. Ordinary intelligence is not enough. You must awaken subtle wisdom. The forms before your eyes cannot easily be distinguished as true or false. So how can you grasp the truth? How can you know what is real or illusory? It is by resting in perfect goodness. What is perfect goodness? It is the highest, most complete goodness, the heavenly conscience before the first thought arises. That is called perfect goodness. When your heavenly conscience can no longer lead you, you may appear outwardly good, but in truth, after a long while, you will see that you have been ill within for a very long time, and the sickness is not light. Therefore, we must rely on the wondrous power of our true nature, using its strength to correct our desires and scattered thoughts. Only then can we practice the Tao with our actions, embodying the Tao through our very being. Teaching by example is greater than teaching by words. When each person manifests the Tao through their conduct, others will naturally follow without being told. My children, when cultivating the Tao, You must practice with honesty, sincerity, firmness, and practicality. What does it mean to cultivate in such a way? It means to take the truths you have understood and merge your subtle wisdom into your daily life in a practical way. Every word, every action, every thought, and every movement must be grounded in true practice. That is called cultivating with honesty, sincerity, firmness, and practicality. Otherwise, everything you say will just be empty words. Whose dissent are you receiving? Whose dissent are you joining? It is your true nature, Mother. Everyone possesses an equal Buddha nature, so do not doubt whose dissent you are receiving or which dissent you are joining. That dissent comes from your own being. When the divine brilliance of your true nature manifests, it is the enlightened master within the one who was once obscured. We bow to that master, and such bowing is to awaken realization. Once realization dawns, everyone's actions will be different, won't they? Won't. When we bow reverently during the descent, we must understand this. With just one sincere bow, we already realize that we ourselves are our own master. Within us is a true nature, pure and undefiled. That is our true teacher. Now, when we reflect inwardly, we must ask, when will we skillfully make use of that true nature? I hope that when you receive the descent, you will gain insight, so that the subtle wisdom of a disciple may be awakened. When subtle wisdom reveals itself, your realization will grow deeper. This is just one simple example. I have said before, when you fall ill, you must find a doctor, right? Chinese medicine or Western medicine? Which one do you prefer? Chinese medicine. Good. And what does Chinese medicine treat? The root. Treating the root is slower, and it requires harmony with your daily habits, your work, rest, diet, and thoughts. Every movement and habit must be adjusted for true healing, right? Each person who comes into this world carries different karmic forces, and thus each meets a different result. Unless one commits great evil or great virtue, it is very hard to change. It can shift slightly, but not completely. Everyone has their own destiny. Some cultivate in the Tao field for many years of hardship, yet still die by the roadside. Why is that? Does that mean cultivation is false? No. He carries his own karma and retribution. For him, that end may even be a good one. For we do not know how many shameful deeds we have done in past lives. Therefore, I teach you to use subtle wisdom to discern all scenes you witness, to stand upon an objective ground. If you see through subjective eyes, you will think that cultivating or not cultivating makes no difference, that the more you cultivate, the more you suffer, until you meet a sorrowful end. But if you stand from an objective viewpoint, you will see each person has their own destiny. When calamity comes, if a noble one helps, they can pass through it. If no noble one appears, they simply complete this life in peace, neither good nor bad, neither right nor wrong. It is their own path, and each must bear it themselves. My children, every step you take must be careful. Heaven has installed a heavenly camera above each person's head. This is what is meant by 3 feet above the head. The divine observes. Do you think the immortals and Buddhas wander around you every day? No, they use this heavenly camera to watch over you. The cameras of the human world record images and sounds, but heaven's camera records the entire film of each of you. And this film cannot be not good. The power of this heavenly camera is incredibly clear. Every person is the lead actor in their own life movie, or perhaps a supporting role in another's. Whether leading or supporting, you must play your part well. Don't humans have many Oscar awards? In the celestial realm, there are also heavenly awards to be received. Yet those awards differ from worldly ones. The glory of earthly fame fades after a few years, but heaven's recognition endures for thousands of ages. To have your name remembered for eternity, that is different, isn't it? When you return to the celestial realm, rewards will be bestowed just as in the human world. There will even be a grand review screening of your life's film. Who played the best leading actor, the best leading actress, and the most outstanding supporting role? Everything is recorded perfectly. Do not think that with so many people in the world, the immortals and Buddhas cannot remember them all. Doesn't a television have a reflective screen? When you return to the celestial realm, that screen will reveal everything you have ever done on earth. Good deeds add merit. Bad deeds record faults. So, shouldn't every step be taken with care? Suffering first, sweetness later. In this human world, endure a little hardship and discipline yourself well. Reflect on each step you take, for when you return to the celestial realm, you shall receive the fruit of your deeds.
Dear friends, if you find this video helpful, please take a moment to give it a like, subscribe to the Divine Grace Teachings channel, and share it with other fellow believers. The merit is boundless. Thank you to all the angels of God.